Oh yeah, back at Universal Studios Hollywood to check up on the park to see what's going on this week. And yeah, we're starting off right here at the parking structure, Jurassic Parking, as crews continue to work on the new security check that will enclose City Walk, just like what Disney has done over at Downtown Disney, doing something similar over here at Universal Studios. And yeah, it's shaping up nicely. You can see that the concrete has cured. And I'm still not really sure what the layout of this is supposed to be. They might fill dirt into right about there, though. It's usually why they paint that black substance on the side of the concrete there. But yeah, at least we have some progress. And over the next few months, we'll get to see what this is all supposed to look like, because Universal also hasn't released any sort of concept art for what this is all going to look like. And I would assume it's all going to be done by maybe the end of this year into 2026. But aside from what you could see, yeah, nothing else. There's really nothing else riveting happening over here in the Woody Woodpecker lot. But enough about the surface lot. Let's continue the journey. Let's head inside the theme park. And then we'll finish it off here at City Walk, because there's a lot happening at City Walk. And before I forget, hello everyone, welcome back to another Theme Park Obsession video. My name is Dylan, and thank you so much for tuning back into the channel. Yeah, we're gonna cruise around Universal Studios and City Walk to see what's new this week, including Halloween Horror Nights and Fast and Furious. So how about you and I dive right in? And just like that, we've made it in the park. And you know what? Right off the bat, I can already tell it's not as busy as it was the other day when I was here. I bailed the other day because it was crowded. Oh, we got Waterworld going over there too. Might be the finale. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's the finale. There we go. Heck yeah. But yeah, much better today though as far as crowds, and way easier for me to get a vlog, so we should cover a lot today. And you know what, since Waterworld just finished, let's go ahead and beat the crowd and make our way over to the plaza and the lookout to check up on HHN and the coaster. Alrighty, here's your look at Monstros III, and like the previous facades that they've done in this location for the Monstros houses, beautiful. It looks absolutely beautiful. I always get excited for what the inside of the haunted house is gonna look like, just judging from the outside facade, because again, the facades are so detailed that it's just every single year I get really hyped up to see the interiors. And I feel like the interiors get better and better every single year for this location as well. So I'm really excited to see the final product. They still have a ways to go as far as adding new details. And on the side of things from French Street, they've removed the blue tarp. So that could have meant that they were spraying some foam and they didn't want that foam to go everywhere. So maybe they're done and now they're moving on to the next step. And I'm also not seeing any lighting or audio just yet in this particular section of the layout. So that will probably show up here in the next few weeks, because it's already showing up in some of the haunted houses here at Universal Studios Hollywood. But overall, yeah, looking really good here at the Parisian Courtyard, and I'm stoked to experience Monstros III. Alrighty, moving on to Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. Here's your latest look at the project this week. They've added some more steel to the sound wall over here. Remember, this sound wall is gonna pretty much go around the entire space, because they do have to make this thing as quiet as possible so they don't disrupt the studio over here, because they still film a lot of things for movies and television. There's really no work happening on this end of the project on anything significant. I feel like most of the goodies are going to be on the inside that we just can't see right now. The pull-through clearance test is moving along very nicely this week, and you can see that they've made it through the dive loop inversion. And I would assume in the next couple days they'll completely make it through the element and into the LSM section. Yeah, they pretty much have one more inversion to get through, and it's that corkscrew element over the block brake. But other than that, yeah, I would say they're about halfway through the layout, which is very exciting. And don't you worry, when they do full-on testing with full trains, I will be here every single day, well, almost every single day, nerding out over here at the lookout, watching the train traverse its layout. Yeah, that's gonna be very exciting. I cannot wait for that. I'm really hoping it's during Halloween Horror Nights. Moving on to the front of the building, look at this. They've added some windows. Heck yeah. Window action. This is about as exciting as it's gonna get in today's video. So I hope that I have a bunch of window enthusiasts out there. Because yeah, I mean, look at this. Look at that reflection, by the way. Again, You're not going to get any better than that. Switching gears, it's time for the studio tour. Let's check up on the Halloween Horror Nights construction. Already just got off the studio tour and really good views of Fast and Furious, Hollywood Drift. Love the angles that we can get from the Timeline Road, but probably within the next couple months, this view will be obstructed because of the sound wall. They're going to put up even more pieces and eventually cover everything up, so we won't be able to get really cool shots of the coaster from this vantage point any longer. But I'm taking advantage of it while I can, and it's looking good. And then when it comes to Halloween Horror Nights, shaping up really nicely as well. The T-Pad Haunted House looks fantastic. That facade is gorgeous. Again, I'm thinking this one is Scarecrow because it looks identical to Scarecrow the Reaping that was here a couple years ago. And then over at the H lot near the end of the studio tour, Terrifier was just announced as a Halloween Horror Nights haunted house for here in Hollywood and Orlando, and it'll be one of the goriest haunted houses that they've ever done, which is really cool because if you've seen the movies, you know that the Terrifier films are extremely gory. Like it's insane. It's really intense. So I'm glad they're not holding back and they're going pretty hardcore with these haunted houses on each coast. And then when it comes to the Terror Tram experience, that's being built out, and it looks like Blumhouse is making a comeback because they're reusing the Blumhouse facades that they had last season. So similar experience, but maybe some different movies. Blumhouse does have a lot of movies in their arsenal, so I wouldn't be surprised if they do a few new ones. And then at the back half of the Terror Tram experience, they've gone vertical with what I'm assuming is going to be the VIP thing and the additional walkthrough for everybody else. So I'll be keeping an eye on this. Moving down to the lower lot, here's your latest look at the retaining wall project. It looks like crews have made it to the ground level, so that's really nice. They should get some of this cleaned up enough to where they can start setting up the queue space for the haunted house down here for Halloween Horror Nights. They still have a little bit of time left, so I have a feeling they're gonna go ahead and get this done relatively quickly. And then as far as the haunted house is concerned, which is Jason, yeah, it's looking good. The facade, it's a lot of trees, and I kind of like how we're starting out in the forest and walking up to his cabin, so that's gonna be a lot of fun. Made it out of the theme park and into City Walk, and the big news over here is that at the former Johnny Rockets location, well, they're turning this place into a Mr. Barbecue. It's a Korean barbecue place moving in, and I think that's going to be extremely popular. OMG. They're doing some really good additions here. We got Raising Cane's, Slice House, and now Korean barbecue. Dude, I think that's pretty legit. Now, what I would do before heading into the park is I would have some Korean barbecue here at the Mr. Barbecue place, maybe a slice of pizza from Slice House, and then go on Fast and the Furious like, I don't know, 20 or 30 times and just see what happens. That might be the move. But with that, I think that's going to do it for today's video from Universal Studios Hollywood. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can let me know by smashing the thumbs up button. And if you're new to the channel and you love these updates from Universal or some of your other favorite theme parks, well, you should consider subscribing because I have brand new videos every single week that you won't want to miss out on. Be sure to follow me on X and Instagram. Those links will be down below in the description. But until the next video, I hope you have a beautiful day, morning, evening, whatever it is. And I'll see you next time in the parks. Bye.